All right, let's jump right into week 10 of Mentorship Matters, Ultimate Techniques of Top Producers. So week 10, this one is brand new. It's different than the previous trainings that we've done. We always used week 10 as kind of a review. And I think with the review week, we found that it really hasn't been truly interactive. I think that you guys do a really good job at paying attention to each week and really doing the things that you need to do. I mean, it definitely shows by your dedication, by coming to these trainings, and it shows in your numbers as well and how you're increasing your business. So we decided instead of doing a review week, we're going to add something new. So we're going to be talking about mentorship. And then at the end of the mentorship discussion, then if you have any questions about any of the previous weeks or want to go back and review anything or maybe share ideas, and we could do that at the end here. So mentorship matters. In an ever-evolving world of real estate, mentorship is one of the most powerful tools an agent can have. Whether you're a brand new licensee or a seasoned professional looking to level up, having the guidance of someone who has already walked the path can be the difference between struggling through trial and error or fast tracking your success. And I think it's really true. I think that, or at least from my experience when I was in real estate at other brokerages, I felt isolated. I felt so alone, especially as a new agent and even as I was transitioning into a top producer. I really felt like all of the things that I needed to know, that I wanted to know, like how do I start a team? How do I increase my my average commission? How do I, have work-life balance? How is something as simple as like, okay, I've got 7 deals in the pipeline. Now, how do I track this stuff? Because I feel like I'm dropping the ball. I feel like I'm forgetting things. The problem is it becomes like this guarded secret between agents. Like, I can't tell this person what I do because then they're going to steal my business. And we all know if you're in a position where you want to grow, we all know that couldn't be further from the truth. We don't want to steal their business. We want to create our own business using the tools that they have mastered, using their guidance to do it. But I think that in this business, because we are in such a sales related business, that we get it all wrong. So agents really, their only next step is to hire some really expensive coach. And I'm not going to name any names because some of them will be at Summit, which can be beneficial. And I did it myself. I went through Burl Workman. I went through Tom Ferry. I went through Brian Buffini. I went through Dave Ramsey. I went through all of these gurus to get the information that I needed to be able to grow. And it was beneficial. But it wasn't a program that was designed to help me on a local level. It wasn't somebody who I was face to face with, who really knew me and knew my life and my desires and my goals. It was just this blanket training program for all people across the entire nation, giving you one system that should fit all. But let's understand this. There is no one size fits all in real estate. So I think that local mentorship is important. Whether you're looking to receive mentorship or whether you're looking to become a mentor, I think it's very powerful on both ends. So we're going to talk about both. All right. Why mentorship matters. Mentorship is a shortcut to success. So it helps you with real world insights and guidance that could take years to learn on your own. And the way we learn is by trial and error. Think about it. Think about changing a tire on your car. If you get a flat tire on the side of the road and you know nothing about changing a tire, you've never been shown how to change a tire. All you have is the tools in your trunk to do it. Trying to figure out how to change that tire with somebody never showing you how it's done would take you forever. You would struggle. You would question yourself. You could possibly even hurt yourself by changing the tire. Can you do it? You absolutely can. With enough time, with enough energy, with enough mistakes, you could learn how to change a tire on your own. But think of how much more successful you would be if you broke down on the side of the road and somebody pulled up behind you and said, "Hey, are you having a problem with your tire?" And you say, "Yeah." And they say, do you know how to change a tire? And you say, no, nobody's ever taught me. And that person says, well, why don't I help you? And why don't I show you how to do it? And they show you the tools that you need from your trunk, and they instruct you on how to do it. And they help you do it along the way. Think about how much easier that would be. Also think that next time you broke down with a flat tire, you wouldn't need that person there to show you because they've already walked you through it. So it is a true shortcut to success. It provides accountability and support. Accountability is one of the biggest things. In real estate, you need to be accountable for your own goals and actions. There's not somebody standing over you saying, you've got to do this, you've got to do this. Nope, don't sit down on the couch. Nope, get off TikTok. Nope, get off Facebook. Nope, you got to come to the office. Nope, you got to make that third call. Nobody is there yelling at you, telling you, you got to do it, you got to do it. You're on the clock, you're on the clock. It doesn't work that way. But hiring a mentor helps with your accountability. You can tell your mentor what your goals are and then set realistic expectations, almost like you have a workout buddy at the gym that says, okay, I want to go to the gym and I want to lose 15 pounds. But if you show up the next week and do your weigh-in and you've gained 5, your accountability partner is going to be like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Are you eating French fries for dinner every night? Like, come on, let's get back to the gym. Let's eat right. Let's do this. We can do this. That's what a mentor is in real estate. They are your accountability and your support. They hold you accountable. And when you don't reach your goals, they're not going to be real happy with you. They are the people that are going to tell you what you need to hear, even if it's not what you want to hear. You get on-the-job training with a mentor. So textbooks and taking your real estate license can't teach you how to navigate tough situations and handle complex contracts and or deal with difficult clients. Me and Jamie were just talking about difficult clients as we were getting on the call here. So a mentor can really help you learn how to take a different perspective, try a different approach, and really guide you through those difficult situations. It can also really help you boost your confidence. So your mentor isn't just there to be for your accountability to say, you didn't do it, you didn't do it, you didn't do it, do better, do better. They're also there to help you really feel like you've done something right when you do something right. You know, it can be so easy to look at the negative when you are trying to really level up your real estate game and produce more income and provide better service to your clients. When one little thing happens, it's really easy to look down on yourself and say, well, I should, I could, I would have. But there are certain things that you do absolutely right in a transaction, even if the transaction has gone wrong. So your mentor can really help you hone in on the things that you have done right while correcting the things that have gone wrong. It also helps with continuous improvement. So the best mentors don't just teach, they inspire growth. And that's what's really important. Tracking your growth, always improving, and having open discussions on how you can better reach your goals and improve your service. So what you learned will help you grow. What are some things that you learned from a mentor? Goal setting and business planning is one of those. Lead generation, transaction management, client communication and scripts, listing and buyer presentations, negotiation techniques, market knowledge, pricing strategies, professional standards and ethics. There is a whole book of unwritten real estate etiquette rules that we don't have a book for it. We should have a book for it, but there's a big list of etiquette things out there in the real estate world that a lot of us are still learning, especially if you're only a year or two into your business. We do talk about them in meetings, and everybody kind of has a pet peeve on what those are. One of those things, just to give you kind of an example off the head here, is not providing feedback after a showing, being the no feedback agent. That's an etiquette thing. Other agents do not like it. Scheduling an appointment to show a house, and when your client cancels, you don't call and cancel with the seller. That's a huge etiquette no-no. Not answering your phone or taking more than one business day to respond, etiquette no-no. So there are some professional standards and ethics that go into mentorship too, and they can really help guide you, or you can help guide somebody else through those unwritten rules. And then also mindset and motivation. So who can be a mentor or a coach? Who do you look for to be a mentor or a coach. So your broker, your managers are often your mentors. So they offer day-to-day operational guidance, contract help, compliance oversight, accountability, and training like we're doing today. Peer mentors, so other experienced agents who can share things with you. I think that we all do really well here at Realty One with our peer mentors. I see you guys on Slack all the time. Jim shared how he spotted a scammer through a realtor.com lead and was just absolutely willing to open up and tell us his experience and share, some of the steps he's doing to make sure that he is not being involved with scammers at all. So I think we all do really great with our peer mentors, and just having that community where you can lean on each other and share your day-to-day experiences is so important. Team leads are mentors. So a lot of people will go to teams because they want a 24/7 mentor and coach. And those team leads have a little bit more time to do hands-on training as opposed to broker owners. As a team lead, we used to do a lot of things like right in the houses. We would go to a listing and we would do photos, or I would teach on 3D tours, or we would do group open houses, door knocking together. Those are some things that team leaders can do that broker owners just cannot, unfortunately. So a team lead is a great mentor. Production coaches. So production coaches really focus on how many transactions, the GCI that you're bringing in. A production coach can be somebody who has more of a financial background. It doesn't really have like a salesy background. So this is somebody who runs your numbers for you. Mindset and motivational coaches help you overcome limiting beliefs, setting empowerment goals. Tom Ferry is a great mindset and motivation coach. He really kind of thinks outside of the box. It's one thing I really loved with him is that he was real big on, let's think outside of the box. Let's do what other people aren't doing. Let's make an impact in the community. He uses the catchphrase, "That's bananas," all the time, which just goes to show that he is more mindset and motivation friendly as opposed to production. A good production coach I can tell you that I have been through is Brian Buffini. He is more production related, like time blocking, lead generation, those types of things, even though they both do a little. If you're looking for a production coach that you can hire, like I said, Brian Buffini, hands down. Mindset and motivation, Tom Ferry. Also a little bit of Burl Workman is good too. All three of those people are online and national real estate coaches. So they do offer structured program, group coaching, accountability through courses, masterminds, paid mentorships. So if you're going to go for a mentor, find one that works for you based on what you are looking for. Also, go in eyes wide open and understand that this is a one-size-fits-all program. It's not going to be tailored to you. And there is also a huge monetary consideration when you're looking at that. Some of these coaching programs can cost you upwards of $30,000 to attend. So, and I'm not saying that they're not worth it. I have done them over the years. I've needed to do them over the years because I just got into a point of my career where I was ready to give up because I was experiencing burnout. And unfortunately at that time, I did not have a broker or manager to go to. The brokerage I was at did not have a mentor program that I can enroll in. And I really did not have a lot of peers within my brokerage that I could lean on. So that's kind of the direction I took. Doesn't mean you have to do what I did. I think there's a lot of support here. We have a mentorship program, which is for anybody that's on this call, it's a voluntary enrollment. You don't have to enroll. Our new ones coming out of school now are required to enroll in Mentor. But it is always available if you need that little extra boost to carry you through a lull that you're having. All right, before we move on, we just talked about what it's like to be a mentee. And then we're going to move on to what it's going to take to become a mentor. Does anybody have any questions on being a mentee? No? Is anybody currently working with a mentor? Oh, go ahead, Rebecca.
Like I'm past the beginning stage, but if we want someone that works on the middle area, you know what I mean? Like after past the beginning stage and whatnot, like does anyone do that? Like,
So
I mean,
basically, the mentee program is a 10-week program, and it's going to start you from the beginning again. So you're going to talk about your sphere of influence. You're going to talk about your lead gen. You're going to talk about your follow-up systems. You're going to talk about realtor safety. You're going to talk about contracts. And that mentor that are in our program, if you're voluntary, you can pick whatever mentor you want. Like when you're a new agent, we assign you to a mentor. Like you don't get to pick. But when you are voluntarily going into the program, you get to pick who you work with based on, who you decide that you want to be with. That when it's a voluntary mentee type of program, you're allowed to alleviate from the book a little bit. You can sit with your mentor if you want to, instead of talking about like the consumer notice, if you want to talk about SSP forms. Instead, we allow for alleviation from the program to really talk about what is important to you. So we do have two programs. We have the required program, and then we have a volunteer program. The required program, like if you're a brand new agent, the requirement is that you complete 10 weeks of instruction in the book, plus 5 transactions with your mentor. If you're coming in on the voluntary program, you still do the 10 weeks of instruction, but you are limited to 3 transactions with your mentor. And then you decide whether you want to renew that mentorship agreement or not. So,
okay,
did that
thanks.
answer your question, Rebecca?
Yeah.
Great. Has anybody else hired a mentor in the past? Any type of mentor? Any type of coach? No? Okay. All right. So what does it become? What does it take to become an ROG mentor? All right. So that's a question I get a lot. So at Realty One Group, mentorship is more than just a title. It's a commitment to lifting others while elevating your own business. I'm sorry, I got to pop up on my screen here. Let me get this out of here. As a mentor, you'll play a vital role in shaping the next generation of successful agents by sharing your knowledge, expertise, and guidance. So why would you want to become a mentor? So think of it this way. You have a really busy, successful business, and you're doing a lot of things. You're doing a lot of deals. Why would you want to become a mentor? Well, it is giving back to the industry and your brokerage. It does strengthen your leadership and coaching skills, which helps you in your own personal business. You're building strong relationships and referral opportunities with other agents. You're gaining recognition as a respected leader in your office, and it is reinforcing your own knowledge by teaching others. And I think that's one of the most powerful things is that when you become a top producing agent, it is really easy to stop doing the things that you used to do that made you a top producer to begin with. And that's kind of where I always got to where I needed to hit that reset button. And it's the same reason why I think I see the same faces at Ultimate Launch over and over and over again, because it helps you remember to do the things that has shaped and formed your business as successful as it is. It's super easy for us to get into the habit of things, and then all of a sudden you hit a speed bump and you're like, why am I so slow? Well, you're so slow because you were so busy working the business that you weren't creating the business, because you lost the good habits that you once had. So I think it's important with the mentors, as they're going through the book, as they're explaining things, to help them really keep on track of like, okay, I did all of this stuff when I was building my business, and now I'm not doing it anymore. So I need to get back into those habits of doing it. So who do we look for in a mentor? Because mentorship is not open to everybody. We select our mentors very strategically. So we look for proven production and experience in real estate, strong communication and organizational skills. So somebody who's very organized, but also can communicate properly with both consumers and with other agents. A willingness to share. So somebody who, when a question is asked, they jump in and ask the question. When I talk to other agents, they're like, oh, it's okay that you weren't available. I called such and such and they were able to answer my question. That sets up our trigger, our light bulb goes off. This is okay. This person wants to be a leader. They're not, they don't want to be kind of stuck in that follower role forever. They want to level up their career and become a leader. Positive attitude, patience, and professionalism. Patience is a key. Patience is key, especially with new agents. It's sometimes really hard to get agents to get up and moving as a new individual because they are switching from that, I show up at work at 9, I leave at 5, I get a paycheck at the end of the week, to, now I have this career where if I don't show up, I don't get paid type of thing. And they have to be aligned with one culture of collaboration and empowerment. So we're really looking for somebody who really believes in the brand and what we stand for, so that when we're putting them out there, it is a reflection of Realty One. So how do we get started? Well, first and foremost is you have to express interest. So let leadership know that you're ready to lead. You have to meet the requirements. So you must be an active full-time agent in good standing. So even though we do look for agents with 5 years in the business or more, it doesn't necessarily mean that that's a hard stop. We really look at where you are in your business and where we would expect you, where if we had to guess how many years you were in business, we would say it's 5 or more. So we do have mentors that have been in the business less than 5 years, but they have made such great strides towards their numbers and towards their community that they have excelled at a higher rate or at a higher speed. You have to complete mentor orientation. So learn expectation systems and mentoring best practices. After that, you get paired with new agents and help them navigate everything from contracts to confidence. And when we start you out as a mentor, you don't get a bunch of mentees all at one time. We don't slam people on you. We give you a test mentee to see kind of how you do and if you can handle it, because this is managing people. In the mentee program, especially brand new agents, they look at our mentors as their managers. So we do specifically give one at a time to see how that mentee fares with the mentor, and we make adjustments as needed. And then after that, then we provide more mentees to that mentor. Mary Bryan Sesko is a great example of that. Mary probably has anywhere from 3 to 6 mentees at any time. She handles it with grace. But when we first got started, she started with 1. And I think that that is super important because as she was starting, she was able to ask me questions. Her and I were able to meet, make adjustments in the curriculum, really set better habits between the two of us. So I think it's super important to start slow and then work your way up from them because it is a huge responsibility. All right. That is all I got with Mentorship Matters. So I'd just like to take a few minutes, and if anybody could jump in with their thoughts, questions, suggestions on mentorship. No, I'm going to pick on somebody. All right, oh, Jamie left. I was going to pick on her too. No? Let's see, who's been through the mentor program? Amy. Amy's been through the mentor program. Amy, what's your experience been with the mentor program?
Actually, it's what saved me because I didn't have a mentor at my last broker and I didn't know how to do anything and was actually closing deals. I don't know how that happened. And so whenever I started talking to you and heard of the mentor program, that was exactly what I was looking for. Just because I want someone who has to know how it all works. And I want to know every line and every detail of things. So to have the mentor available to ask 1,000 questions to was, like I said, pretty much vital for me to stay in this business. Very supportive, and like everything that you've been saying, just hearing her examples and like her motivation that if something goes wrong, don't give up kind of thing. Like we all kind of go through dry spells and, that kind of support, as well as the technical documents and where to sign and who has to sign and the deadlines and all the things. So I think like as if a mentor has to remember where a mentee is. Like the abbreviations and the what documents and the terms, and like I said, where to sign and who signs and all the things. Once you do it hundreds of times, like some agents have, you know, you may forget that. We've never seen these forms before, and there's so many of them, and you know, the deadlines and everything like that. So just going back to like the baby steps with someone, that was really vital and very important for me.
Great. I'm glad that you had a great experience with the mentorship program. And I'm happy to announce that Amy has graduated from the mentorship program. Congratulations. She has completely graduated.
And she still has 1 million questions and wants to know every line on every document. So I still call my mentor, and she helps me still.
Yes, she does. Yes, she does. And the mentorship doesn't end after the program either. One thing I can say is that pairing up with a mentor gets you into a very close relationship with somebody who you may not have had a close relationship with otherwise. I mean, even Amy and Mary are in 2 totally different offices. They live in 2 totally different areas. And now you listen to them talk together and they sound like they've been friends for 15 years. So I think it's super important. Super, super important. And Mary's super knowledgeable as well. She's very, very knowledgeable. And it's just in her nature to be kind of mama hen to others. So does anybody have any questions on anything that we covered in Ultimate Launch over the 10 weeks? Anything that anybody wants to review again? No? All right, guys. Well, then that is all I have for you today. Week 10 is short and sweet. If anybody is interested in signing up as a mentee, like I said, you can do this voluntarily. I can talk with you more about the program and introduce you to the mentors. And we can really kind of come up with something that works for you. It is not required. Like I said, it is only required for brand new licensees. It is something that we implemented about a year ago. So if you've been here for about a year, then you were not required to sign up for the mentor program. But as new people are coming in, we think it's really, really important to have them be with a mentor who can really walk them through the steps individually, and maybe not on a training call like this, because I know a lot of people don't ask questions and they don't unmute themselves for whatever reason. So being one-on-one with a mentor really helps. And then as you guys progress in your career, if you are interested in becoming a mentor, please let me know. As we expand our offices, there's always a need for more. Right now we have Mary Bryan Sesko in Beaver County covered. We have Anna Myers in Hermitage. We have Jamie Peltonen in Grove City. And we do have Fontanese Green, who is training to become a mentor, and she has 1 mentee currently. As Anna moves to Ohio, Fontanese will take over as the primary mentor there. So those are our mentors at current. But again, as we expand, our need for mentors will expand as well. So if you think that this is something you want to get into in the future, I would be happy to support you. I think that as you're growing your career, and maybe if you're thinking about leading a team one day, the first step before becoming a team lead is to become a mentor. That's really going to teach you the skills that you need to be able to manage other people. Or if you want to become an office manager or a broker one day, these are really good training steps to go through as you grow to mentor somebody else. And you do get paid for it. So just so that everybody knows, the mentor does get paid additional funds to help others. Although sometimes the mentor calls me and says, hey, I don't want to get paid on this deal. I just want my mentee to have the money. So that's happened before. They're not in it for the money, I promise you, but there is compensation for it as well, in case anybody's interested. All right, that's all I got. I'm going to stay on the line as always, in case anybody has any type of questions they didn't want to ask in a group format. I am in Elwood City today, so feel free to stop in, see me, say hello. Me and Olivia are here all by ourselves since Kathy is on vacation, so it's a little quiet in here, so don't feel bad. Stop by, say hello, grab a coffee. We'd love to see you. But you guys have an amazing rest of your day.
Thank you.